विजयलक्ष्मी how we understand others in our relationships, and then how we treat them, and thereafter what we share with them. These three things are very important in our social skills. The second one in the social skill, actually, we have already seen what is managing watchfulness, a brief outline of it. Later on we will see the practical strategic information about it later on. And after that we will see managing interactions, the process of trying to understand various viewpoints or points of practice in managing interactions. We saw that it is the capability to use our awareness of our own feelings and those of others to manage the interactions successfully. We need to have this capability. After that we saw the second point, what we started with today. Understanding others, how we understand others. That is very important because the other two depend upon the understanding. Understanding also is connected with our clarity. How open we are in our dealings with the other. So then only we truly try to understand the other. As per our understanding of the other, our treatment will be towards the other. How we treat others. Once we come to know that somebody is of a very great and noble quality and who has done a great service to the whole humanity, once we come to know about it, our treatment would be different. If we don't know anything about it, our treatment would be totally different. So, how we treat others depend upon how we understand others. And then, what we share with others depends upon how we treat others. So these three things, if we take care of them, then we are said to be doing good in our interactions with others. After that we saw that the quality, the depth and the time we spend interacting with the other person, that builds a stronger and healthy relationship. Not merely the time that we spend with the other in order to pass the time, but the quality of the time that we spend with them. Quality time. How progressive is our togetherness in this path of success. How much we learn, how much we grow, what are all those good things that we are gaining, because of which we are getting purified, becoming more capable, more eligible, more able of handling ourselves and handling others in relationships. So all this is connected with the quality. And at the same time, how deeply we are absorbed in these things. How deeply it influences us not only at the superficial level, but also at the inner levels. So that is the depth. And of course, all this happens only in the time that we give to the other. So then only a relationship becomes stronger and then healthy. In addition to that, we saw that instead of avoiding problems in relationships or instead of running away from problematic relationships, we may put an effort to attempt to try. Afterwards, the choice initiate a direct conversation and also a constructive conversation. If there is a problem in a relationship, we may try to initiate a conversation, because most of the time, because the conversation is not initiated, problems remain as problems. If we initiate a conversation, slowly things may come out. Slowly those things that appear as problems may no more appear as problems. And then the discussion should be, conversation should be very constructive. Otherwise what happens? Negativities come out and it will become destructive. So we have to try that. And whenever we find that somebody is upset in our relationship, it is always good if we inquire from them the causes for the upset through, suppose people are not interested in coming out, they don't want to directly say. So we may pose some indirect questions to them. So if we ask some questions, at least for one of those questions they will say something. Once they say something, then we can take the lead from that, and then we can ask a few more, and slowly when they come out, then we can understand what is causing inconvenience to them, discomfort to them, what is the problem which they are facing, what is happening to them, what is going on with them. When we understand, then we can give some advice or some suggestion or render some help, psychological, intellectual, if necessary, some adjustment we can make so that they feel better. So this way we can improvise our interactions. This is also connected with our social skills. And in addition to that, we also saw that we need to find out what are the true interests of the other person. So that if we do something in connection with those interests, then people tend to become more closer. So interactions will improve. Till this point, we discussed yesterday. And there are few more to be covered in this section called as managing interactions. Another important thing is to give benefit of doubt to people. See, whenever we see certain empowering situations in games, whenever they are in doubt, they are supposed to give benefit of doubt, depending upon the rules of the game. So, suppose we have some doubt about others' mannerism, others' behavior, or whatever others might have said, whatever others might have did. Suppose we have some doubt about it, we are not 100% sure about it. It is better always for us to give benefit of doubt positively. Maybe they might not have said that, maybe they might not have meant that, maybe they might not have thought that. So like that, if we give benefit of doubt, they are not getting benefited, we are getting benefited. First of all, we would become comfortable and we would gain some serenity in mind, so that the problem becomes more easily perceivable and understandable. Benefit of doubt is always good. But what happens is, depending upon the texture of our mind, we give the doubt other way. We take it the other way. We add something more and then project it. So that is going to irritate us more, frustrate us in interactions. It is always advisable to give benefit of doubt. And this can happen when we do not judge others' actions. Not that we don't recognize whether they are dharmic or adharmic, whether they are connected with niti or aviniti or whatever it is. But as far as our healthy interaction is concerned, we don't judge. We avoid judging people so that our mind becomes cleaner. Later on we will see how it helps us to remain free from judgment. So if we are remaining free from judgment, meaning we remain non-judgmental, then it becomes easy for us to do benefit of doubt. Ultimately, whatever happens in a relationship, that happens only because the person is not actually capable enough to act otherwise. That is why it happens like this. So, whenever it happens like that, it is good for us to overlook it, ignore it. The one who was giving the discourse was a sadhu. So this sadhu asked the listeners, how many of you have read the Yajna Kanda in Ramayana? So after a while, suddenly few hands shot up in air. Their hands went up in air. And then the sadhu smiled and said, there is no Yajna Kanda in Ramayana. So he immediately said, that is why my topic for today is living truthfully. Very mildly put it. And he continued to talk. Meaning what? There is no serious offense that is taken because they said like that. Nor any further comments are brought out. It is just ignored, taken light. Because possible, sometimes people might think that they might have read. Instead of Yuddha Kanda, they might have got Yajna Kanda. What does it mean? So, not to take it very serious, just to give a benefit of doubt, and not to judge very seriously. Just take it easy and go ahead. The purpose there is to communicate something very good. Instead of that, how can you say like that? I never expected this from you. I will not communicate anymore. Bothers about it. So that is not the point. To take it serious and to judge and to brand and to segregate and to categorize people. In interactions, we need to be very light in our relationship. That we have to learn. Then only we can be very easy in living in relationship. If we take every small thing serious, then it will become very troublesome for us to handle. And not only that, it is also said, when inquiries come from others, this is one such thing which makes us lose patience sometimes. If they inquire, why is this like that, how is that, why is that, when is that, and sometimes when people ask questions, and that is the time where we get irritated. How many times? I have asked questions. Instead of bursting out like that, if we can attempt something different, what? Remain calm. When people are asking questions, let them ask. Because they are inquisitive, they want to say something, they want to know something, they want to express something, so they want to ask something. Let them say, let them ask questions. And sometimes these questions are related, sometimes not related, sometimes born out of their projections, their negative tendencies. What does it matter? Whether it is positive or negative. If they are asking questions, let them answer. Let them complete. Let them finish. Then they will become easy. Because the pressure is out. They want to say something, let them say. After that, it is our choice. How to answer, what to answer, what not to answer, whether choose to answer or not to answer. It's all our choice. But let us allow them to say something. When somebody wants to say something, allow them to say. So that is why it is said, remain calm when others ask questions. Do not get upset or be bothered by it. Otherwise, what I don't know why they are bothered. We are bothered already. So when we are bothered, can we interact properly? We cannot. If we are affected, can we interact properly? We cannot. What is our goal here? Our goal is to develop social skill. Why? It is a strategy for success. So that is our main goal. If we forget that, then we take small things as very important and start fighting and getting bothered, getting confused. So this is not what we want here. Two ladies were talking to each other. So Karuna told Aruna, today we are celebrating silver jubilee of our servant. Silver jubilee of our servant, asked Aruna. So that means that the servant has been living with you for 25 years. What a great thing it is. 25 years same servant. Karuna said, not like that. This is the 25th servant in this year. That way. Meaning what? To get upset with every small thing. Or there are some people who want to make upset also. What does it matter? So if we start getting upset with every single simple small thing, then the only solution in a mind which is hurried in decision making things is just change, just get out of it, just go away from it. That's what generally people think. So they go on changing. So that is not what is intended here. Even ordinary interactions also, they tell a lot about what are the levels of our calmness. So that is why remain calm. And then it is also said, there will be resistance in relationships. Some people resist whatever we say, whatever we advise, whatever we guide, or whatever we want to get it done through them. They resist. Resistance is natural in individuals. And then whenever there is resistance, there will be some confusion in relationships. And whenever there is confusion, there will be conflict. Is there a relationship where there is no conflict, there is no confusion, there is no resistance? There is. At one time or other, we will experience resistance. Just because we experience resistance, should we run away from the relationship? Just because there is some confusion, should we get rid of the relationship? Just because there is some conflict, who doesn't have? Everybody has conflicts. At one time or other, in one way or other, for one thing or other, there will be some sort of conflict. In spite of resistance, in spite of confusion, in spite of conflict, social skill says, try a best way to communicate with others. Still try a better way to communicate with others. You can still communicate. Who stops you from communicating? Even when there is this atmosphere of resistance, confusion and conflict, let us try to communicate in a better way. If the communication is apt and if the person understands correctly, then probably things get resolved. If the communication is not clear, even if you say something clear, they don't understand, then who can help you? But at least you have to try. So there were two people who are walking in a place, in a very busy place, in a shopping place, and one of them suddenly noticed a bag which was left abandoned, a small bag which was left abandoned. He became very inquisitive, went near to that bag, lifted the bag, and opened it and peeped in. It's a small bag. Peeped inside. When he peeped inside, the other fellow also, both were there. Not two people were there. He also peeped inside. Then they discovered 2 bombs. Nowadays it is possible also. So 2 bombs. So then, immediately, the second one said, now, if we keep them here, it is not safe. And the other fellow said, if we keep them in our pocket, that also is not safe. Let us hand it over to police in the police station. So then they decided to hand it over to police in the police station. And suddenly the second fellow said, if you keep it in the bag like that, they may collide with each other and it may be dangerous. So hold them in hands. So the first person held them in both the hands, 2 bombs in both the hands, and then threw that bag and started walking. Then the other person said, be careful, don't drop one of them. And then the other person says, what does it matter if we drop one of them? We will go and tell the inspector that we got only one. We found only one. The dispatch said, if you drop, you should be there to go and tell. So the idea here is, we do not know what these resistances, these confusions, these conflicts are having inside them. They are packets. When we open up, there might be bombs, meaning there might be explosive things. Not only that bombs explode, but people also explode. So their emotions are very, very explosive. So it depends upon how careful we So that is why we have to find out a best way to communicate. This is a very proactive suggestion. And many times the resistances, confusions and conflicts get dissolved if we communicate with others and try better way of communication with others. So that also is a very good positive social step. Then continuing further, it is said that we should respond to people, not react to people. Generally what majority of people do is they do it otherwise. First react and then they think of responding. First react, because depending upon our major quality of our mind, this reaction happens. If majority of that mind is filled with responses, naturally response will be the first choice. Otherwise reaction will come. So that is why it is advised, respond to people, not react to them. Not react to them. And do not dismiss others' thoughts, because people identify themselves with thoughts. If you dismiss their thoughts, they think you are dismissing them. That is what the identification is. So don't dismiss their thoughts or ignore their opinions. People are so attached to their opinions. At least let them say, give a good listening. Then you can reserve your answer. That is very decent enough. Otherwise, while expressing the opinion itself, no, that is not correct. No, I don't like it. So there are people who say like that. No, when they start expressing, here this expression also starts. So that is a reacting. So in responding, you allow the person to complete. Don't dismiss the thought. They think that you are dismissing them. No need to ignore the opinions, because people are so much identified with their thoughts and opinions. They think their and opinions are one and the same. That's what happens. People get easily hurt. Why? Because you don't accept their opinion. At least you say, I will let you know. That is a very beautiful way of telling. Yeah, your opinion sounds good, but let me think and get back to you. Let me think and get back to you means you cannot accept also. But very slowly you can say that. Where there is no heat build-up happens, where there is no frustration happens. You can present it very smoothly, very coolly, very nicely, very decently, very politely, very softly, very touchingly. Rejection also has to be like that. Non-acceptance also has to be like that. Okay, let them say, what does it matter? So that is why in interactions we have to understand and be really aware about others' opinions and thoughts. Let them come out. Sometimes we don't know, there might be gems in those opinions. Who knows? Whether they are for us or against us, doesn't matter. And anyway, people will not stop. If you just say don't express opinion like that, they will not stop. Anyway, they will tell. So anyway, they are going to tell. So it depends upon you how you respond to it. So keep your mind in peace. And then, important thing here is how to remain in a state where we don't dismiss other thoughts and we don't ignore others' opinions. How can we remain in that state? Simple. It is, we have to go beyond our opinions and biasedness in dealing with others. Just think of it. If we take a decision for few moments in this interaction, I will go beyond my opinions. Actual clash happens between their opinion and our opinion. When we consider that their opinions have to be valued, that means what? We are not reacting to them. So, just as they identify with their opinions, we also identify with our opinions. That is why we react. So, if we go beyond our opinions, if we decide, if we contemplate for a while and then take a decision, today I will go beyond my opinions. What a nice day it is. What a wonderful day it will be. It will be very nice to go beyond opinions. Try like that. If we can practically try like that to go beyond opinions, it helps us a lot. And then go beyond biasedness also. One day, bias-free outlook. It is possible, we can tell, we can note down what all things we are biased with, and then what are our opinions in connection with this particular activity today. Put them aside, then things become very easy. in a company, a meeting was called where employees participated in the meeting. The management also was there, the boss was there, and then the employees were there. And one of the important opinions and suggestions that was expressed by employees was this corporate sector should have some soft corner for social service. That is why many of these corporate companies, they allot certain amounts or certain time and certain energies of their employees for social upliftment, social service. So this was the suggestion of that employees of that company. And the boss, instead of responding to them, he reacted in this manner. He said, okay, I consider your suggestion of corporate social responsibility. And do you know how am I going to do that? I will cut your salaries, and out of that money, I will do service to the poor. That is the reaction. Instead of that, he could have said, I will take out certain amount from the profits, certain amount from the reserves, certain amount from the other type of funds. They would have been more happy. And then they said, suppose the company had said, because there are certain companies, and very surprisingly we see such offers in some of the multinational companies which are situated outside India, where if anybody does social service, even for a spiritual organization, some institutions, some corporates give certain awards in the form of money to that spiritual organization or some help to that spiritual or social organization. It is only in our place where if we try to do service to spiritual organization, somewhere comes the secularism, which people don't understand only properly. Take wrong advantage. But very surprisingly, we see that outside they have more respect for culture than inside sometimes. Because of these political minds, they don't understand. They don't want to understand whatever it is. So suppose if such a thing was announced, if you do more service, so there will be more amount given to you also as an award and to the institution where you are serving also as an award. That is considering the opinion, not brushing aside the thought, respecting people's suggestion. All that is a very strong point in improving the interactions. Whether it is between the employer and the employee or between any sections in relationships. Continuing further, it is also said that when we interact with others, we have to recognize their achievements. Whatever they have achieved, even small things also. Recognize their achievements and then not only quietly recognize, but say something in appreciation of their achievements. Instead of that, there are people who look at others and then they have a magnifying glass to spot the negativity and then go on criticizing them. And then they justify also that one who criticizes is doing a lot of good to others. That is justification in their role. If they really know the intricacies of relationship, they will not say like this. Constructive criticism is different, totally different. That is done with a different intention, so it will have a different result also. That is why it is said, stop finding faults with others. If we don't stop this habit, then whatever we see in others, we will try to pick up only faults and blemishes and mistakes, and afterwards what happens? We give negative comments and then we give negative remarks, and afterwards we become unapproachable in relationships. That's what happens with people. Whether they are working in an institution or a corporate or a whatever sector it is, if there is somebody like that, constantly giving negative remarks, they become unapproachable. That's what it is. They know only to see negativity, they don't know how to see positivity. One person might be seeing negativity, 10 people might be seeing positivity. So what does it matter? It depends upon us how to take it. That is all it is. Always, all people do not have same opinion about us. Impossible. Let us understand that. There are always people who have good opinions. There are always people who have bad opinions. There are always is always there. Our Shastra also says this. We need not bother about opinions. We may give value to them. Look at them, consider them, allow them to say, so what does it matter? If some bad karma is there, that will go away. It is easy. One of the brahmacharis who was blamed for what he did not do, merely to harass the person. But some people do like that. So, constantly he was being blamed. And then, when he went and approached the Guru told him, do you want a faster way to realization or a very slow and sluggish way to realization? So, no, I want a faster way. Then let them say. I didn't do anything, but let them say. You didn't do what they are saying. They are projecting, they are criticizing. So what? Your bad karma is clear. Your negative karma is clear. You will go to moksha very soon. So that is a different outlook. Let them say, so what? So they are clearing your obstacles by commenting, by criticizing. And not only that, sometimes what happens when they criticize, a portion of our negative karma automatically get transferred into their account. This is true, certified by Vasishta to one of the kings of Surya Vamsa. So, when that is happening, so why bother about it? In fact, we should be very grateful and thankful to people. With this attitude, if we have, we will remain very good. So, we need to have proper understanding about this. So, we need to be approachable people in interactions, not unapproachable people. So let us stop finding faults and making negative comments. There was an argument between a husband and a wife. The husband told the wife, I don't understand the ways of God. He made you so beautiful, but He didn't give you any brains. He made you so beautiful, but He did not give any brains. Then the wife retorted, I know you married me only because I am beautiful. But if He had given me brains, I would not have married you. Temporarily, we can win the argument. But in the long run, we are losing the relationship. That is why we saw one of the points is, for the sake of short-term benefits, we need not let go of, ignore the long-term goals. Winning the argument is not important. Sometimes in order to build up a relationship, it is better to lose the argument. It is better to be a loser for a short-term benefit and winner in the long run. What does it matter? Be proved wrong. So what? Have you not seen grandchildren proving grandparents wrong? Do you think they compete? They don't. They will want to be proved wrong. They want to get defeated. They want to lose. Why? Because they want to see the joy of winning. That is how they build confidence in grandchildren. How can that happen? Because the attitude is different. The purpose and goal are different. If same thing we have towards others, our attitude will be different. That is what is very important in relationships. So we need to have proper understanding about this. I have heard that once one uneducated politician became an education minister. It is possible because in the game of politics anything is possible. So he became an education minister. So on the first day after he took the oath and he went to the office, his secretary came to see him. No, secretary has to come to see him. But he was waiting outside at that see-through door. The door was a see-through door, a glass panel door, and he was waiting outside. And then looking at the minister. So the minister looked at him and then said, "Why are you outstanding? Please income." And the secretary understood the language. "Why are you standing out?" He said, "Outstanding." "Please come in," he said, "Please income." Secretary understood this fellow came only for income only, I know. because you must have spent a lot, so you want to have a lot of income. That is a different story altogether. So the idea here is how we understand others is very important. How they express themselves is not important. More important than that is how we understand them. So that decides about our treatment of them and how we behave with them. That's all it is. That's what is very important in managing the interactions. So we need to see some supportive thing, how we can overcome all these negative approaches, these outbursts, these criticisms, these wrong opinions and all that, the lowness of the mind. How can we overcome it? And when can we overcome it? What is the method? What is the process? In Yoga Vasishtha, it is said by Sage Vasishtha to Sri Ramachandra, Asamyak darshane shante Asamyak darshane shante Mithya brahmakaratmani Mithya brahmakaratmani Udite paramaditye Udite paramaditye Paramathaika darshane Paramathaika darshane Apunardarshanayaiva Apunardarshanayaiva Dagda sushka parnavaga Dagda samsushka parnavaga Chittam vigalitam viddhi Chittam vigalitam viddhi Vahnau krutalavam yatha Vahnau krutalavam yatha Asamyak darshane shante mithya brahmakaratmani. Asamyak darshana means wrong vision. Right vision, wrong vision. There are two things. So whenever there is a wrong vision connected with eyes, we correct it and then make it right vision. Like that with the mind also. It is there. So asamyak darshane shante Vidya brahmakaratmani. When the wrong vision, what is the nature of the wrong vision? When the wrong vision having the nature of producing delusion falsely. Delusion and falsely. Mithya brahmakaratmani. So that is why we see all negative things, false things, projections, superimpositions in our interactions and relationships. We focus on all unwanted things. Why? Because of mithya brahmakaratmani. That is based upon, that is because of the asamyak darshan. The wrong vision having the nature of producing delusion falsely. Shante. When it has subsided and when udite paramaditye, when the supreme sun is risen. What is the supreme sun? Udite paramaditye. Paramathaika darshane. When the supreme sun, that is the vision of highest truth, meaning highest vision. When the supreme sun of highest vision rises. When the wrong vision, which is having the nature of producing delusion falsely, has subsided, and when the supreme sun that is the vision of the highest truth or highest vision has risen. So this is the situation when this has happened. So highest vision rises in us, wrong vision subsides in us. That is very important. When that happens, apunardarshanayaiva dagda samsushka parnavat, like the burning away of the dry leaf. A leaf that is dry, already it is dry. That itself means it is in a different shape. And then dry leaf burnt away. Once a dry leaf is burnt away, apunardarshana eva, it does not become visible again. Will it become visible again? Once the dry leaf is burnt away, it will not become visible again. Like a dry leaf that is burnt away, it will not become visible again. And chittam nigalitam vidhi, know that the mind has disappeared. Vahnau vrutalavanyada, like the ghee that is thrown into the fire. The ghee that is thrown into the fire in the Homa ritual, and the ghee that is thrown offered into the fire, what happens to it? It vanishes. Just as a ghee that is offered into the fire vanishes, similarly the mind with all its low level, fanciful, delusory, false things vanishes. What a beautiful thing is this. Just because the right vision or higher vision rises in us, wrong vision subsides. Just because of that, all that we need to do is allow the higher vision to rise in us. Then what happens? Then, like a dry leaf that is burnt away, the lowness of the mind will never become visible again. Like a ghee that is offered into fire vanishes. All the low things, false things, delusory things in the mind will never appear again. Disappear. How beautiful it is. It is only because these things have not vanished, these things have not disappeared, these things remain and they don't quietly remain. They appear, they reappear, they surface, they force. Because of this, we get involved in reactions and projections and negativities in interactions. How beautifully Vasishtha Ji told this to Sri Raman, that what are we trying to do in this satsangs on strategy for success? We are gaining right vision. That's what we are gaining. Every point that is communicated, discussed, understood, for you and I, we are growing in our right vision and we are reaching a higher level of vision. That's what we are trying to do. Each day, as we are learning, as we are listening, as we are understanding, there is some change that happens in us. Vision starts growing and starts rising. That's why we are this satsang. That's all and only purpose. So, which is very important. So, how to become skillful in managing interactions? This is the master strategy that is given by Vasishtha Ji. But there are other strategies which we have already discussed point-wise. And after gaining good outlook about personal skills, about social skills, and the ingredients of personal skills, and the ingredients of social skills, we have gained good understanding about them. Now we take up each one of these ingredients, the first one being managing awareness, and try to see the practical strategy. Outline we have seen, understanding we got. Now we have to see practical strategy. Much more practical. So we will try to go into the practical strategy of managing awareness. Already we have seen enough points about that. This is more elaborated, more practical in our day-to-day life. That is what is going to help us. The philosophy that we learn should be usable in our practical life and help us and make us progress ahead and make us to success. Then only that is called a practical thing. That is why the word strategy. A plan that is intended to achieve a specific purpose. That is what is strategy. So So then, the first point here, practical strategy connected with managing awareness. We have to take notice of our thoughts, feelings, emotions and behaviors. Please, we have to take notice of our thoughts, feelings, emotions and behaviors and observe them. The moment we use the word observer, the observer is different from the observer. That we have to see. Taking note of them, meaning that itself means we are separating us from that which we are noticing. Meaning our identification levels are coming down when we notice them. Otherwise, without noticing what we have, we get identified with them, we involved with them, we react, because we react and then into the situations and then we suffer. So because of that it changed. What is the first practical point here? Take notice. Take note. Take notice of our thoughts, feelings, emotions and behaviors and observe them. And when is the potential opportunity for us to observe them? When somebody disregards us. When somebody disregards our direction, our authority, this is what it is. When somebody disregards our direction, somebody disregards our authority, it is at that time we should not brood over that they have done like this, that is that they do value, they are not valuing, and then what happens? You brood, and then build up anger, and then think negative, and one day burst out, either directly in front of them or in front of others. That's what is going on. That's what is happening in relationships. Why that bursting out happens? Because of negativity. Why that negativity? Because anger is building up. Why anger is building up? Because we are brooding about them. Brooding about what? And what happens? Thinking like that is what has to be avoided. Instead of that, this practical point says, try a different approach. What? Instead of expecting them to follow your direction, instead of expecting them to accept your authority, you come down a step and then sit with them and explain things to them. This is a positive approach. Explain things. Probably, if you attempt to explain things, there is a good atmosphere that is generated and they may become open in understanding. Probably they didn't understand things well, that is your authority. There are some people who explain their authority and their direction, and some people who pressurize others to follow direction, and some people who harass others to exercise their authority. We see all kinds of things in organizations, institutions, whatever organization it is, totally commercial, maybe spiritual, no excuse, no exception. Everywhere we find this people. Everywhere, without exception. So, how to deal with them? Explain. Just explain. To explain, you should not have the brooding. Don't brood over them. You have better choices to brood about other things. Why brood and breed them inside? Brooding over them breeds negativity. Again, we are going to. So, this is a practical point. This is practicable. That is all right from the word go into practice. So, that is how we have to make an attempt to practice. Then the next one. Make a note of intolerable thoughts, feelings, emotions, and the related physical sensations and the connected tendencies. Make a note of intolerable thoughts, intolerable feelings, intolerable emotions, and the related physical sensations. When the thought is intolerable, when an emotion is intolerable, there is a physical sensation related to that happens here. Make a note of that also, this physical sensation also. And at the same time, notice the inner tendency which is behind these two things. Make a note. That means when you make a note, you become aware of them. You throw more light upon them. they come into the conscious level. When they are in the unconscious level of our mind, they rule our mind. But when we bring them into conscious level, we expose them. This is a beautiful way to bring these unconscious hidden things which are spoiling our interactions, our awareness levels. We bring them into conscious level. We expose them. When a scam is exposed, it can be dealt with properly. So like that, the mental scam inside has to be exposed. That's what we are trying to do here. So this helps in increasing our levels of awareness. The more the levels of awareness increase, automatically our powers to decide well, to be creative, to be satisfied in a situation, to be affectionate towards others, to give benefit of doubt, to be positive enough, all this will develop. As the awareness levels increase, so our outlook will be developing and progressing. And our peace levels and joy levels are connected with higher levels of awareness, increased levels of awareness. Please understand this. Not changing things outside, increase the levels of awareness, automatically peace increases, automatically happiness increases, automatically satisfaction increases. This is the greatest discovery done by our rishis. So here at the management level, we are attempting to change so many things that are connected into practical level. So this is a very good attempt that we can make. And then we should also know one thing. All these negative moods, irritable things, frustrations, botherations, annoyances, whatever disturbances they are, all of them are of the nature of coming and going. And they are of impermanence. This has to be understood. Which was very clearly explained in the 14th floor of the 2nd chapter in Bhagavad Gita. Agamapaino anityaha am titikshasva bharata. What? Matra sparshastu kauteya shitoshna sukha dukkha. Our sense perceptions will give us sometimes pleasure, sometimes pain, sometimes comfort, sometimes discomfort, sometimes happiness, sometimes misery. That's what they give. And know for sure that they are of the type of coming and going. How many times things might have come and gone in our life till now, if you look back into the past. How many things, how many times these happinesses, miseries, joy, sorrow, successes, failures, honors, dishonors, profits, losses, how many times these things might have come and gone. Did they ever stay there? Never. That is where they are of impermanent nature. To know this itself is relief. To know this. But a negative mind, a low mind cannot know. Only a mind with higher vision knows this. Because a lower mind thinks, this is permanent, this is going to stay. I don't know I can come out of it. I don't think there is any way out. I don't think I have. No, that's why they see permanency. So they harm themselves or they become violent and harm others. That's what is happening in society. Whether they harm themselves or they harm others, it is because they think that is permanent. Somehow that mind gets into that state. That thinks it is forever, it will be like that. Never it will be like that. They are of the nature of coming, going. That's all it is. Both good feelings also, bad feelings also. Both are like that. Good feeling gives a rosy picture, bad feeling gives a gloomy picture. Both pictures are colored. That is why here, if we are in a rosy picture, we see something else. More than what it is. In a gloomy picture, really less than what. Both are to be avoided. We have to see things as they are. When we see things as they are, we will come to know what we are. That is the important thing. See things as they are, not as they appear to be. As they are is the most important thing. So, this helps us, if we understand this one basic point, this helps us to gain freedom from impulsive decisions. Otherwise, what happens? Impulsive decision. something happened, decided, execute it. That's what people do. And what will happen in living? Because of such impulsive decisions, we will be at loss. And impulsive decisions always have potential consequences. Afterwards, we can't do anything without consequences. That is why it is advised, very nicely, very beautifully, it is advised for us to understand the nature of these things. We need to know the nature, that they are impermanent, they are coming and going. All thoughts, all feelings, all negativities, all types of these things. Once we know, then we will also know that we need not take them as permanent, we need not get stuck with them. We just remain in our higher vision, they will just slowly go on. The wife told the husband, you never remember our wedding anniversary. You never. Because you forgot to greet her and to take her out and all that. You never remember our wedding anniversary. Do you at least remember when we got married? Ask her to wife. Then the husband said, how can you forget the day of our marriage? The same day there was a devastating earthquake. Because of earthquake, I remember. But it's not a positive remembrance, whatever it is. In interactions, if we are not really considerate towards others' feelings, that is basically because we are not really aware of our feelings and our things that are taking inside. If you know that these are temporary and we can easily handle them. And suppose the wife has said like that, the husband would respond very positively. Excuse me, please, sorry, I was occupied. It would be easier to solve the thing. And with you, any day is a wedding day, so why not celebrate today? It can be done like that. And throw an extensive party, it can be done, anything can be done like that. It is a proactive approach. Husband looked at the wife and said, see what you have done. You broke the very costly imported glass pane of the window. The wife said, it is your fault. When I threw the roller pin at you, why did you move away? You should have stayed there. It would have hit you. You moved away, so it hit the glass pane and then that got broken. You are responsible. This way the arguments build up, where there is a, you are at fault, you are at fault. But this is not the approach. Our approach is totally different. You have to become aware, you have to become conscious, you have to take notice of them. You should know that they are temporary, they are momentary, they are passing. But take things easy. That is very important. If we can take it like that, then things will become very easy for us to manage. And that is why the next point is, normally everybody gives this suggestion. Try to think before you act. So before we act, we need to take some time to think. When we take time to think, then there are choices that can be exercised. If we don't take time to think, impulsive, there is no choice. So when we take some time, then there arises the room for choices. How to live in this moment. There is a choice how to live life in this moment. We have to exercise that choice. And for that we need to take some time. For that we need to do some practical thing. What is that? Make a list of values that we want to practice and make a list of values that we don't want to practice. Or qualities that we don't want to be there in us. Make a list of the values. Positive, negative, which we don't want to practice, which we want to practice. And also, the related physical expressions and experiences and sensations and consequences. You have to make note of that also. The physical expressions, sensations, experiences and the will go through them few times, then those things will get into our mind. Then any time, whenever we have to say something, do something, we take time before we act. When we take time before we act, because of this practical exercise that we have done, all things will come to our mind. These things I don't want to practice. These things I want to practice. Choice is clear and it becomes easy for us to choose. Otherwise, to choose, to make the right choice itself is a difficult thing. Because there is no time gap. In a brisk speed, suddenly we decide and then we react. Instead of that, take time and have a choice and then act intelligently, act wisely. That is how we can manage our conduct. So we have to question ourselves, why we need to do these things which we are doing? Why can't we do them differently? Why can't we question like this? Why should others question us? Why are you doing like this? They will question us, complain. But instead of that, we can only question ourselves. Why we need to do things the way we are doing? Why can't we do things differently? It's a beautiful thing. It so happened that in a railway station, after listening to the announcement, one person suddenly jumped from the platform down onto the tracks. He jumped from the platform down onto the tracks. The station master was shocked to see this. He yelled, "Hey, what are you doing? Do you know what you are doing now?" And that passenger, who was already on the tracks, yelled back at the station master, "You fool! Didn't you listen to the announcement? The announcement said the train is arriving on the platform." It is arriving on the platform. So I jumped from the platform onto the tracks, which is the safe place now. In our impulsive decisions, when we act without thinking, when there is no time to choose, we jump from platform onto the tracks, where we will be hit by emotions, outbursts, negativities, so many things. That's what happens in our life. That's what is happening also. So that is why here it is said, take some time. Take time to think, and then we will exercise choice. And that is a very beautiful thing. And then, again, another point is also connected with taking time. But take time to reflect upon our behavior. How the thoughts, feelings, emotions are affecting us. Take time to reflect upon it. How these thoughts are affecting me. How the feelings are affecting me. How the emotions are affecting me. Take time. And in this process of taking time to reflect, ask others for their feedback, for their remarks. But don't simply ask their remarks, they can freely give so many remarks. But ask them associated situational examples along with the remark. Only remark means endless remarks will come and you will be confused. Ask those people who are interested in your progress and growth, not waiting for an advantage to comment. So, ask related, associated examples. Then it is apt. Then we can understand better. Please give me your remarks about my behavior, about my conduct, about my reaction, about my mannerism. If you have to ask them, then they will give that feedback. When they give that feedback, we can reflect better. But with a related example, that is very important. So then we know, in this situation, we should not have acted like this. We should have acted in a different manner. This way, we can go beyond explosive outbursts. Feedback helps us to avoid this explosive outbursts. Very important. Then, next point is, do not judge the feelings, thoughts, emotions and brand them as good or bad. Whatever might be thoughts that are there inside me, they are there, that's all. Feelings, emotions, let them be there. If we keep judging them, then what happens? We don't allow them to go through their full course. We don't allow them to run through their full course. We try to abruptly stop them, and then they get suppressed, then they get deposited, and they get repeated, and then they get surfaced, and then they get piled up. When they get piled up, and our behavior and temperament will be influenced because of them. So allow them to go through their full manifestation. Just be a watcher and then be aware of them. That's all. Just be aware and they will go through that. When we judge, we don't remain with them. We don't allow them to completely manifest. So if you don't judge, just simply look at them. They will manifest and they will disappear. If we judge, we suppress them. If we judge, we should abruptly stop them. That is not good for our psychological, mental, intellectual health. Let them be there and then let them come out. Then what happens once we let go of the judgments, just be with them, just be with their expressions and just sense them at the physical level also. Just be there. They will slowly disappear and vanish. This is proved thoroughly by experiments done at various places around the world in the field of psychiatry and psychology. Various experiments done. They just come out, they just go out. That's all. Allow them. Physical level, observe them. At the mental level, observe them. How they are coming. Thoughts, feelings, emotions. And then how they are manifesting. Just be with them. If you don't judge, you can be with them. If you judge, you can't be with them. So that is why we need not judge them. Be with them. They will slowly vanish. Next point. Whatever these thoughts are there, feelings are there, emotions are there, especially feelings and emotions, move towards them, move into them, move through them. That is the practical approach. Move towards them, move into them, move through them. When you move towards them, that is a positive approach. When we move into them, that means we know that they are not walls. We know that they are not obstacles. When we run away from them, they will look as insurmountable obstacles. When we move towards them, a positive approach makes them look very small because we are moving towards them. We become big, they become small. When we move into them, meaning we are moving into them with awareness. When we move into them, then they become transparent and we can finally go through them. When we go through them, we are out of them. They go out of us. That is the best way that is advised them. Very, very nicely. So, once we are like that, remember this. Don't move away from them. Don't avoid them. Don't run away from them. That is not the right way. If you have to clear them, get rid of them, clean our mind, and make it totally cleansed from them, then we have to move towards them, move into them, move through them. These are all step-by-step processes. Very, very important practical strategy it is. It is not only thinking level, practical level. Try whenever there is a practical situation. Once we try, then we will come to understand. And the next point, it is also a very practical approach, strategy. What is that point is, mock up. Mock up means act out, imitate, not real. Mock up emotions, mock up feelings. Sometimes we will do this, mock up. So then what happens? When we mock up feelings and emotions, mock up means what? Full scale model for test or study. That's all it is. For test or study, we are trying to mock up. This can be done two ways. One way is with closed eyes, we can mock these emotions and then observe what is happening to us and take a note of it. Another one is with open eyes, we can enact. This is possible. Sometimes we do that. When we are totally disturbed, people will be walking here and there, here and there, here and there, thinking, saying something, all this goes on. So instead of that mechanical thing, conscious way. What happens is when we mock up these things, we know that these are all only done for the test or study. And with closed eyes or open eyes, when we are aware, this gives us capacity to manage them when they actually arise. We have already got an experience here, mocking up. That is how it is. We can try this as an experiment in our own room. considering that as a laboratory, then what happens? It becomes easy. Then next time when we face people who try to push the buttons or triggers, then we know how to handle our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. We need to, next point is we need to make a note of such people. Who are those people who are purposely pulling our triggers, pushing our buttons? Make a note of those people. Make a note of those things which are happening inside us. Then it becomes easy for us to handle. See how practical this approach is. When we make a note of these things, then we come out of them. Then we really become more and more aware of them. Once, in US, a new salesman was appointed in Walmart. On the first day, the manager of that Walmart was quizzing the new salesman, inquiring from him what he has done on the first day. So he asked him, how many customers did you interact with? Did you meet? Or how many customers purchased things from you? The salesman said, sir, only one. Only one customer. Then what is the amount of sales? The answer came from the salesman. 373,030 cents. $373,000.30. Huh? One customer, $373,000.30. How can this happen? Then salesman said, sir, a customer came into the Walmart early in the morning. The moment we opened the Walmart, he came in and asked for aspirin for the headache of his wife. His wife has a headache, aspirin, which costs 30 cents. That's why 30 cents. 30 cents. I sold him the aspirin. Then I told him, how is your wife? Oh, terrible. Total headache. That's why I told him this. Then I told him, that means your whole holiday today, that was a weekend holiday, your whole day is ruined. He said, yeah, my whole day is ruined because of this. I had different plans. Then I told him, I have an idea for you. After handing over the aspirin, you need not suffer that the whole day is ruined. I have a different idea. What? Why can't you go fishing? There is a great pastime outside. Here, if anybody does like that, that is the most unfit fellow. Here, you know, when somebody is seen fishing, that means what has nothing to do with fishing. But there is a very great pastime. So why don't you go fishing? But I don't have all that material. Okay, I will sell it for you. I have it, I will get it. First I sold all the kit for fishing. All the jacket or whatever things that are necessary for all that kit I sold. And then I told him, rather than standing on the bank and fishing, if you go for a boat ride into the river and fish, do the fishing, and that will be great. Oh really? He said, yeah. Then I sold him the boat. Then he swiped his credit card, only credit, no other credit card. Then he went away and came back and said, how can I take the boat to the river? I need a good vehicle. Vehicle I need. Then I sold him the Ford SUV. So that amounted to $373,000.30. All for the sake of wife's sake. Think of it.
We do not know what all transactions we enter into when we are not aware of our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. We do not know where we will end up, how we will get stuck up, and what all things we have to lose. Just one thought, the old days ruling, I have a suggestion, where it went. Just think of it. So, little example, but that's how we get stuck up, involved in so many things in life. That is why it is said, take a note of these things. When we take a note of these things, then it becomes easy. Not only recognize these things in ourselves, but also it becomes more easy for us if we see them outside, possibly in some art form, maybe sometimes in dances. The Navarasas are expressed. Negative emotion finds an expression, observe and see whether that is there inside us, whether some related things are there. Sometimes in some good books they are explained. Go through them and then reflect. Sometimes in some movies we can see exact replica of our characters. Whenever such negative emotions are expressed, feelings, thoughts, you can see. Sometimes in TV serials, but don't get stuck up there. You get stuck there and saying bad news will get into us. So only spot them and try to study them, analyze them. Sometimes in paintings also this is possible. So whenever we see them, then we will understand these things easily, and then we know that we have to avoid them, we have to get rid of them. All this is possible when we also give our mind a state of relaxation with some relaxing techniques, whereby this observation becomes more easy and more apt, more fruitful and more successful. This way we can manage our awareness with this practical strategy. We move towards this success. And the beautiful sloka here, Prajnam Vijnata Vijneyam, Prajnam Vijnata Vijneyam, Samyak Darsanamadhayah, Samyak Darsanamadhayah, Nadahanti Vanam Varsha, Nadahanti Vanam Varsha, Siddhamagni Sikhayiva, Siddhamagni Sikhayiva, Vasishtha ji tells Sri Ramachandra, Prajnam Vijnata Vijneyam, Samyak Darsanamadhayah, Nadahanti Vanam Varsha, Siddhamagni Sikhayiva. Mental agonies do not burn or afflict a wise person. All the low level things, negative things, whatever things that are there, mental agonies do not burn or afflict a wise person who has Prajnam Vijnata Vijneyam, who has understood what is to be known. Prajnam Vijnata Vijneyam, who has understood what is to be known. All practical approaches are to understand what is to be known. That is what we are doing. If that is understood, what is to be known is understood. Prajnam Vijnata Vijneyam, Samyak Darsanamadhayah, and has Samyak Darsanamadhayah, and has the right vision. What is it? Two things. One who has understood what is to be known. Secondly, one who has the right vision. Two things. Prajnam Vijnata Vijneyam, one who has understood what is to be known. Samyak Darsanamadhayah, one who has right vision. Then, just as the flames of fire do not burn a forest that is wet by rain, can a forest that is wet by rain be burned by the flames of fire?
सिक्तमग्निशिखायुव न दहन्ति वनं वर्षा सिक्तमग्निशिखायुव. It cannot burn. The flame cannot burn the forest that is wet by rains or water. So, when we make our internal organ wet by understanding what is to be known, by that knowledge, by that understanding, and the right vision, then all these reactive things, negative things, low things, and the consequences, mental agonies, will never affect us. How beautiful it is. The right vision and right higher understanding. That's all it is. This practical approach is only to take us towards understanding what is to be known, and it will give us a right vision. We will take up other things tomorrow.
Hare Om.